What is up, you guys? It's your favorite cutie, Mel, back again on my Soapbox channel to give you guys yet another video. And today we are continuing our conversation about All About Love by Bell Hooks. We are on chapter 12, which I just cannot believe we're almost at the end of this series. And it is called Healing, Redemptive Love. We're just going to hop right into it. If you're new here, I'll turn off the fan, even though I don't want to. If you're new here, basically we just read a couple passages. We don't read the full chapter, and we just kind of talk about what I gained or my perspective on what's been said in the chapter. So if you're interested in this book and want to know whether you want to buy it or not, definitely check this out. Okay, so we have been through the inner wine cellar and healed his seal, which is to suffer out of love. The ardor of this love greatly outweighs any suffering we may undergo. For suffering comes to an end, but love is forever. Tessa. So that is what she started off with the quote. So we're just going to hop right in. Love heals. When we are wounded in the place where we would know love, it is difficult to imagine that love really has the power to change everything. No matter what has happened in our past, when we open our hearts to love, we can live as if born again, not forgetting the past, but seeing it in a new way, letting it live inside us in a new way. We go forward with fresh insight that the past can no longer hurt us, or if our past was one in which we were loved, we know that no matter the occasional presence of suffering in our lives, we will return always to remember calm and bliss. Contrary to what we may have been taught to think, unnecessary and unchosen suffering wounds us, but need not scar us for life. So I feel like this is so important. I feel like I read this book like perfectly in the times when I need to hear certain things, because, you know, as I go through life, I'm just finding that love is in everything. It's in our friendships. It's in how we treat people, how we treat ourselves. And I actually had like a little bit of a rough week interacting with others this week. And this chapter spoke to me, and I'll tell you guys why more as we get into it. But I think that something that I'll always come back to, and if you've been watching this channel for a long time, is I'm going to affirm this in the past tense. I used to really struggle with forgiveness. It was really hard for me to let go of things when certain people hurt me, and to be able to feel compassion so that I can see myself in that person rather than blaming them and not being able to get over certain things, especially when it comes to, you know, I don't know, for whatever reason, it was just so hard for me to forgive my dad. So whenever I think about forgiveness, I know that that's the person that I need to forgive the most, him first. So yeah, growing up is at heart the process of learning to take responsibility for whatever happens in your life. To choose growth is to embrace a love that heals. The healing power in the mind and the heart is also present because we have the capacity to renew our spirits endlessly, to restore the soul. Moving on. In functional families. Okay, so now she's going to go on to talk about like family structures, the difference between a healthy family, an unhealthy family, what they have in common, and, you know, just expand on that. In functional families, individuals face conflict, contradictions, times of unhappiness, and suffering just like dysfunctional families do. The difference lies in how these issues are confronted and resolved, and how everyone copes in the moment of crisis. Healthy families resolve conflict without coercion, shaming, or violence. A functional, healthy family is one in which all members are fully functional and all relationships between the members are fully functional. In the functional family, self-esteem is learned, and there is a balance between autonomy and dependency. So then she just goes on to talk about interdependency and love, and how I've heard this before. It's honestly the best way to be. Like, being overly independent can kind of like separate yourself from other people and ultimately burn you out. And being too dependent on people can be bad, obviously, for obvious reasons. You know, you need to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. But the sweet spot is really interdependence, where we can all serve each other in a way. And this chapter talks a lot about serving each other and what service means. So let me just go ahead and skip ahead to that part where she kind of gets into service. Well, let me just read the healthy independence. Okay. While terms like codependency, which came out of programs for individual self-recovery, rightly show the ways in which excessive dependency can be unhealthy, especially when it is marked by the support of addictive behavior, we still need to talk about healthy interdependency. No organization dedicated to healing demonstrates this principle more than Alcoholics Anonymous. The millions of people who attend AA meetings seek a place of recovery and find that the affirming community that surrounds them creates an environment of healing. This community offers individuals, some for the first time ever in their lives, a taste of acceptance, care, knowledge, and responsibility that love is in action. So that's beautiful because, I know me, I've also taken on the approach of needing to be very independent and I'm going to work on this myself. I'm going to do this for me. I'm going to do whatever. But I think that putting yourselves in a place where you can get support of others in your growth is so helpful, and it's so healing to just feel like you're not in things by yourself, to feel understood, to feel accepted for who you are at this very moment while you strive to be better. That's true love, and I feel like she talks about that because in this book, love is all about helping people on their spiritual journeys, and a lot of time we need support on our spiritual journeys. I think if we could do it all by ourselves, and if we could do everything and heal everything by ourselves, then there would be no need for other people. There would be no need for all these people and all these different personalities on this planet. But the truth is, we are still very much a people who need other people. And so don't be ashamed if you feel like you can't get through some things on your own. You might need to seek support. You might not be able to get over everything on your own. You may not be able to get over your addictions on your own. But if you can, put yourself in a space where, there is community, because community is just important as self-work. So let's hop into it, okay? However softly we speak, he is near enough to hear us. So let me go back. There is no need to go to heaven in order to speak with one's eternal Father or find delight in him, nor is there any need to shout however softly we speak. He is near and able to hear us. So I told you guys I was struggling a lot with in relationships this week, and part of it is I realized that in the past, especially when I'm feeling very upset and emotional about things, I feel like I wasn't always being heard the way I wanted to. I wasn't always being understood. So because of that, I picked up a habit of sometimes needing to raise my voice and yell when I'm upset, because it's been programmed in me. One, because my family is a yelling family. We've always been a yelling family growing up. That's how we express ourselves. And while that's what I learned, that doesn't always make it the best loving or most appropriate response when you're trying to actually resolve something with someone, because it's almost impossible for people to be able to hear you and meet you where you're at when your communication is filled with so much anger and so much angst. It's hard for people to be able to be there with you and really because what you really want is someone to empathize with you. And sometimes when what I mostly want, I'll speak for myself, is for people to empathize with the experience that I'm going through. So I need to be able to be calm. So even though this message isn't really connected directly to the book, I found it still helpful for me, because I feel like, yeah, I can still be heard even without raising my voice. I can learn to know that I'm being heard and that I don't have to express myself in that way anymore. And it's something that I'm going to be working on. So let's keep it rolling, because, I'm not trying to make the video too long. Next thing, let's see. The bridge of illusion must be destroyed before a real bridge can be constructed. So let me back up. It is only as we recognize and confront the circumstances of our spiritual forgiveness that we assume accountability. Okay, so yes, accepting accountability is so important, and I found myself needing to do that. Everything that I'm reading in this book is so helpful, and I can apply this to my everyday life. And that's why, if you guys don't have this book for yourself, I do suggest that you guys read it, because although I'm sharing passages, it might seem like I'm sharing a lot, but there's a lot in this book that you guys still should read for yourself. And you never know what I'm not reading that might affect you in a personal and powerful way. So if you guys want this book, the link is down in the bio. When we surrender to the wait, we allow changes to emerge within us without anticipation and struggle. This practice of surrender, of letting go, makes it possible for us to enter a space of compassion where we can feel sympathy for ourselves and others. So I highlighted this part because I hate when people say wait, because I truly don't believe in waiting. I believe in, like, I guess it can be considered waiting, but just being patient and being able to kind of divest from outcomes and just, be a part of the process. Being a part of the process, being engaged in the process, loving the process. It's not about waiting, because I feel like when you wait on things, when you're just sitting waiting, you'll always be waiting, because there's no guarantee that anybody's going to do anything. So instead of wait, I would just replace it with, like, engage in the present, in your current process, in your current whatever it is that you're working on. But I apply this to all my life, especially with my career and with my music and stuff like that. There's so many times where I used to get so frustrated and wanted to quit. And I imagine that this can also be, not even imagine, I know that this can be applied to relationships where you want to quit because you're not seeing results right then and there, when you're not being able to make changes right then and there, when you make mistakes, when things don't go your way. Like, being able to take that pressure off and just enjoy where you are and in your process, knowing what your intentions are, helps you to manifest so much without the struggle, without the frustration, without the grit. And you begin to just enjoy where you are, and enjoying where you are and being grateful for where you are really changes so much in your life. Like, I know that it is cliche, but it's just so freaking true. Like, you only can know if you experience it. Serving others is a fruitful path to the heart as any other therapeutic process. So that just goes back to what we were talking about earlier, how it's important to serve people in community, serve yourself, serve. Okay. And now this next part, oh my God, really hit me. To know compassion fully is to engage in a process of forgiveness and recognition that enables us to release all the baggage we carry that serves as a barrier to healing. When we judge, we are less able to forgive. So this, oh my gosh, it's just like, I know that this is just a major thing in my life right now. So in learning to forgive, yesterday when I had made my mistakes, I think about how horrible sometimes I can feel when I'm like, dang, I made a mistake. I wasn't my best self at this time. And I would like to be forgiven. And I know the shame that can be attached to, like, feeling like you made a mistake and, just wanting another chance to do better, be better, and wanting to have patience with someone else. And then I recognize how sometimes I don't have patience with other people when they make mistakes. And, if I want compassion, I need to be able to be compassionate also. And that really is helping me seeing that perspective, because I'm like, when I could put my own self in our shoes, I think it's kind of selfish sometimes, but regardless of it, it still is helping me. But sometimes when we are actually in the position that others are in, it helps us to be able to have compassion for other people and give them the grace that maybe we want in times where we don't show up 100%, when we mess up, when we forget someone's birthday, whatever it is, whatever you do to make someone mad, when it's completely just not on purpose, or even if you were just in a bad place and you did do something that was not the greatest, sometimes we just need to be forgiven so we can have the opportunity to grow. And it's a gift when someone gives you patience, because then they are hopefully going to be a witness to the growth that's going to take place as a result of that grace. So let's keep going. Shame breaks and weakens us, keeping us away from the wholeness healing offers. When we practice forgiveness, we let go of shame. Embedded in our shame is always a sense of being unworthy. It separates. Compassion and forgiveness reconnects us. Oh my gosh, it's so true. I think the reason why a lot of the times the friendships that I had ended was because there was no compassion on either end sometime, and it does separate when you can't see yourself or put yourself in someone else's shoes, or just even be able to forgive, or just remember how you felt when you made a mistake and you feel shameful about something and you want forgiveness. When you can't put yourself in someone else's shoes to do that, it will separate you from other people. I think I know this better than anybody. It will separate you from other people. And I think that at this time of my life, I think if I want to elevate higher as a better person, forgiveness is something that I am mastering in this time. And I'm giving myself time to master it. I don't expect myself to be perfect, but even if no one else notices, I notice the changes in myself. I know the thoughts that I have with myself, the conversations that I have with myself, the practices that I put into place so that I can be a more forgiving person, so that I can give people more grace, not even just after offenses, but during offenses. If someone is to do something that makes me upset, being able to give that person grace and see myself in them in that moment, being able to take time, being able to control my emotions, being able to be calm in these situations it's everything that I'm striving for personally right now. Making amends both to ourselves and to others is a gift compassion and forgiveness offers us. We let go of the waste that is there, that is a clear space within where we can see others as ourselves. Okay, and I think this is going to be the last part that I share with you guys, because I want you guys to read this chapter. It's so good. Forgiveness. Even small acts of forgiveness always have significant ramifications at a personal level. Even small acts of forgiveness contribute to one's sense of trust in oneself and potential of others. They contribute to a human spirit that is fundamentally hopeful and optimistic rather than pessimistic or defeated. They contribute to knowing oneself and others as potentially powerful people who can choose to lovingly create versus seeing humans as basically selfish, destructive, and sinners. I'm happy to end this chapter on that note because geez, it makes me just feel so much better and more patient with myself as I'm learning to be a more forgiving person, because I'm like, even if I just give like a morsel of forgiveness, even if I even just have the thought to mentally forgive someone in my mind, that is having some effect. It's having effect, and it's helping me and it's helping others, and it's contributing to the universe as a whole when it comes to having a forgiving spirit and being one more person who can be more compassionate in this world. So that made me feel really happy. And I'm just going to continue to enjoy the process of becoming more patient, being a better communicator, being able to have my composure, being able to speak lovingly and think lovingly of people, even when we make mistakes. So I hope you guys really liked this one. If you did, don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. Share it with someone if you feel called to. Share it to your socials if you feel like you like the book, you like what I have to say in my commentary about it. Please check out the link in the description down below. You guys know I have merch for you guys. I have Be My Lover bracelets and keychains that I will ship to you guys. And then I also have a Patreon, so subscribe to my Patreon for as low as $3. Every dollar counts to help me make more content, have more time to be free to do the things that I really care about, and hopefully the things that you enjoy here on this channel. As always, stay posh and stay cute. Mwah. I'll see you guys in the next one. As always,